morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and happy 2-year anniversary to the Medarot News Network as a whole. To the day, it's been 2 years straight since the very first day I started taking to YouTube to officially help bring Medarot-related news to the West, given I was kind of tired of not seeing anything to do with it, and decided, well, if no one was going to do it, I may as well do it myself. And, well, here I am 2 years later, still going strong, having officially covered every model in the Medarot S as of current, having met my original goal of having it done, of course, before the anniversary, before the year went out of 2023. I do honestly want to take a moment before I do go on and say thank you so much. Just thank you for 2 years that you've given me of success and encouragement and support. Not just for me, but also for the Medarot series as a whole, as it has been kind of in a weird limbo stage between here and the East, where it's on its home front, and as much as we still want to see it come to the West, and we will still continually fighting for it, you can guarantee that whether it does or not, I will be here to bring you that news the best I can, and help relay and be that bridge for the Western community. All the gushiness aside, once again, thank you so much for 2 years, and here's to another 2 or even more going forward of the Medarot News Network. But, with all that aside, this week in particular, it looks like we're going to be getting a very easy event and a lot of very iconic, familiar faces. Not just from Medarot S as a whole with the new characters and models that we've unleashed, but also with a couple of rather familiar ones from days long past, as you see here. We have a very familiar dragon type that fans who watch the anime will recognize very, very quickly. That being said though, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced with this week going forward. Starting at the line with the gacha banners, and we do have a pretty fair amount of them, even though they are mostly reruns or spotlights, is of course the new model you see here, which is an upgrade to Fancy Ale, FSL02 Fancy Pearl, with the kit of Confusion, Break Rush, Meteor, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Pure Heart, which is a brand new leg ability being added to the game. Simply explained, much unlike Charm, which debuffs the enemy upon being attacked if they are of the opposite gender, Pure Heart will buff the user's damage if they are attacking someone of the opposite gender. And this means for Pure Heart, she's got essentially 80% free reign here, since a good chunk of models introduced and in the Medarot series essentially as a whole are all mostly of the female or gender end varieties, and not a whole lot of female, so which means she can go free reign with all 3 of her rather dangerous skills that are at her disposal the moment she hits the field. In addition to her, starting yesterday actually at time of recording, we got a very familiar face, renumbered and rehashed to officially make his grand debut into the modern titles, and that is DRA-01, the Ancient, with the kit of Field Repair, Crossfire Set and Release, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Adversity. Now, the one really great thing I do like to see about the Ancient is not only the fact that he is back and ready for action, but the fact he also actually maintained his original kit almost exactly. So a lot of folks who are used to using Crossfire in the early days, or made use of him whenever you can, this is your opportunity to really kick back where you left off. In addition to that, he also is available as a Spotlight banner, which means he not only is one that can be accessed at any time in any banner as you pull for anyone else, he also is the first ever instance of Crossfire Set and Release being made permanently available to any model that is not a limited pickup model. As of current, the previous models that do have it are Saikachi's Grand Beetle and the Mighty Kaiser Beetle, and if anyone that was lacking any of those parts, well, they unfortunately were not able to make use of Crossfire Set or Release at its full power. That is no longer the case with the Ancient joining the permanent pool, and anyone now having permanent access to him. In addition to these 2 main highlights, we are also getting a pretty fair amount of rerun bots, all of which are very useful in varied levels of utility. Starting of which, of course, in honor of Fancy Pearl being the new upgrade and release, is FSL01 Fancy Ale, with the kit of Bug, Break Hammer, Napalm, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Charm. Behind her, we have CRW0 Crow Tengu with Gatling, Double Tornado, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Climber. Behind him, HAP0 Marie Crown with First Aid, Double Sacrifice, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Revenger, making her the better all-round sacrifice nuker. After her, we have PIR-0 Mad Natchery, the Angry Piranha Fish type, with Deathlock, Sword, Assassin, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Charge Fight. And then last but not least, everybody's favorite little cockroach, CCH-0 Bad Hacker, with the kits of Field Repair, Shoot and Melee Trap, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of B-Loader, who of course can also transform into a multi-ped form and exchange Shoot and Melee Trap for Bug, which gives him a little more of an aggressive edge while he's on the field. So again, not just including the previous two, but also with these 5 here, lots of very solid models to be had and be put to good use. So you could honestly pick any one of them and really not ever go wrong, because they bring something very useful to the field no matter who you use or how you use them. The only model I would encourage probably not putting a lot of effort toward would be the Ancient, primarily for the fact that because he is a Spotlight, you do honestly have a shot at going after him in literally any other banner you could choose from. So kind of a 2-for-1 deal if you find yourself particularly lucky or even feeling lucky that day and want to try pulling for him. With the Fierce Battles we have this week, it's going to be relatively normal, kind of slower tier this week, as it's all mostly M2 returnees. Starting the lineup is KAP-01 Kappa Lord with Beam, Double Anti-C, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Forester. MNT-0 Flat Stake with Triple Bug, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Acrobatics. And then last but not least, SCP-01 Poison Scorpion with Triple Melt, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of Desert type. Now, like I said, it is going to be lower tier with the Fierce Battles this week, so probably not a whole lot of effort needs to be put toward collecting them. But if you are a new player or a rookie just starting out, they are still very good parts to be had and be put to good use, even if they are just a little expensive to raise at times. Primarily for Kappa Lord, Anti-C never hurts to have on hand just in case. Flat Stake, Triple Bug, you really can't go wrong with raising even just one part just in case, because Bug and Virus are very good for turn-skipping foes. Poison Scorpion, even if Melt isn't a very useful ailment compared to most others, Multi-Legs with Desert type does give him a little bit more of a competitive edge on the field, of course if you are able to raise it to fully capped 5-star. That being said, for MVP of the week, I would have to give it to Poison Scorpion, primarily that the mobility that the multi-ped legs give you with Desert type would give you that extra edge compared to most other multi-ped legs that need Desert or Wasteland and don't want to risk coming up against anti-air to shoot them down quickly. Now, in terms of most other stuff going on this week, it is going to be relatively lower tier, but still pretty exciting all the same. But before I do get to that, I do want to also take a moment and say happy birthday to Leah-chan, one of the 3 Metatubers we have on the official Medarot channel that do stream occasionally or post videos and kind of give us a little bit of a daily life into a Medarot kind of thing, whether it be with a just chatting stream, in the case of Leah-chan doing some gaming streams, whereas Shushu Pop tends to do her radio podcast, and Cheerful Bun likes to do her cooking streams every here and there. So, Leah-chan, again, happy birthday if you are watching me, if you somehow find me in my tiny little corner of the internet. And I am honored to be able to share my 2nd anniversary of content creation with your birthday and your official release as well. With the events, as mentioned, it is going to be relatively lower tier, but very exciting this week all the same, as we finally have access to a special event to give us a model that a lot of people have been waiting on for a very long time, especially us Westerners here in the Western community that have been waiting and playing and recognize and love the anime very fondly. But with this event, we have the opportunity to finally collect Pure Mermaid MAR-0 and her kit of All Repair, Double Repair, Sea Legs, and the Fix Plus leg ability as the big time and limited time event reward for this event. In addition, we also have the opportunity to collect the Mermaid Medal with the Mastery in Healing, Defense, and Setup, and Leg Masteries in Biped, Floating, and Sea Legs. And then last but not least, the other big reward they did highlight for this one was some limited time voice quotes from the voice actress that does voice Hisaki, primarily geared toward the magical girl theme that Fancy Ale and now Fancy Pearl have been kind of perpetuating with their new themes. On the event itself, it will be ticket-based, so mixed parts will be encouraged in spreading the parts out across the bill. But given that we have red and blue tickets as well as gold and silver, I do highly anticipate and expect that the event will be a 2-parter, which means the first week will likely be the blue ticket with the gold bonus, and the second week will be the red with the silver, or even just a combination thereof if I do find myself slightly wrong. That being said, for the blue ticket bonus, you'll be getting a +3 bonus per part equipped across the build if you use Crow Tengu or Cross Messiah, and a +1 bonus if you use Flat Stake or Poison Scorpion, and then a +2 bonus if you use Rare Rank Hisaki, or +1 if you use N Rank Hisaki as your Medarotter. For red ticket bonuses, it's a +3 if you're using Mad Natchery, Marie Crown, or Bad Hacker in any combination, but again, it is 1 part per bonus. +1 if you are using Kappa Lord, and +2 or +1 if you are using Medarotter Arase in R rank or N rank respectively. For gold ticket bonus, if you are using naturally of course, Fancy Pearl will give you the +3 bonus for the Medarotter, and Medarotter will be SR rank Hisaki. In contrast, for the silver bonus, if you are using Fancy Ale, it is a +3 for the silver and a +3 for the SR rank Arase. Now, I mentioned this event as being particularly possibly easy on purpose, primarily for the fact that you probably would already have at least 1 or 2 bots of these already from previous pulls, in addition to SR rank Hisaki or Arase. That's not to say you're guaranteed to have them at this point if you've been playing for any guaranteed length of time, since again, gacha games are always about luck more than anything else. But given that we actually haven't had a pretty fair chance at collecting most of these models, the Medarotters in particular being available in the permanent Medarotter pool, and a lot of these models also having a pretty fair amount of reruns between their release and now, I really don't think a lot of folks are going to have a problem with this event. So only time will tell, of course, and see if they did kind of ease up on that and make this event notably easier to collect and maintain compared to previous events that have left players kind of leaving and having that hard desire for something easier or more palatable, essentially, in terms of effort versus reward ratio. So only time will tell, essentially, going forward. On the community front, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any of our translation projects. That being said, if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, or Japanese and have some time on your hands, our Medarot 3, Medarot 4, and the Medarots Reloaded manga translation project are in need of people to assist. Medarot 3 is currently between about 65, about 70% maybe or so to completion, but it's mostly just NPC and story text that needs to be translated based on what I last heard about it. So if you would like to assist with this, definitely reach out. We can get you filled in with the right people that need to fill you in. Same can be said for Medarot 4, which is still undergoing decompilation and initial translation project to essentially kind of figure out where to start. Essentially using the progress built from Medarot 3 as a starting place to kind of help giving a head start. For Medarot Reloaded manga, we have all chapters collected, we just need cleaners and translators. So again, if you'd like to help, reach out to me or join our Discord in the link provided below and ask around. We'll get you in touch with the right people who can fill you in on what has been done, what you need, and what still needs done up to this point. On the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, of course, with it being Leah-chan's birthday and release date, I do have to highlight this piece here by Twitter user MirokuT5000, highlighting, of course, Leah-chan's birthday with her singing with one of her singles and the OG Robo party, of course, on top of that, or the Space Robos, essentially. And essentially this piece here by Twitter user MousePieceF, who highlighted everyone's favorite original Archangel type, Particle. And being completely honest, when Particle hit the scene, she honestly took the entire meta by storm as the god-tier healer that she is, between restoring HP, restoring all parts, negating ailments, and providing counters whenever depending on which form she's in. So wonderful work to the both of these. Definitely give either of them, or even both of them, a follow if you'd like to see more art in your feed. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode, so just a little bit of a lighter week, honestly, which I'm kind of okay with it being my 2-year anniversary. And on that, I do want to say thank you again for the 2 years of continual support, encouragement, and pretty much just all the little victories I've had along the way. At time of recording, I am at about between 605 and 609 subscribers, so I honestly didn't even think I'd make it this far, so thank you so much for that, and here's to continual growth going forward. That being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below if you'd like to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. That being said, that will be the first place you will hear any news before anywhere else. That includes any new merchandise, fan art, my weekly episodes, translation updates. Join the Discord if you absolutely want to stay in the know faster than anyone else. Lastly, You can also reach out to me on Twitter at itsugami_kura. I leave my DMs open on purpose for this reason, so don't be a stranger. Stop on in and say hello for any feedback, suggestions, or even just a praise you want to give on things that you enjoy or how you found me. I do greatly appreciate those. In addition, if you are a streamer or YouTuber or VTuber and would love to collaborate, I would be more than happy to coordinate with you. So feel free to reach out in my DMs, and I'll get back to you on that. We can make something happen between the two of us, whether that be you stopping in on my channel or me stopping in on yours. Do also give these pages a follow. Again, because it is my 2-year anniversary, I am allowed and entitled to toot my own horn. Because it's also my channel, I can do what I want. So definitely give the Twitter page I follow as well on the side with a group of buds I follow, which is Project Unison. It has been kind of stagnant for a while, primarily because my buddy's computer, who does most of our editing, did kind of have a little bit of a stroke in these last couple weeks, but recently did get everything back up and running. Hopefully with that, we will get back on a schedule of releasing the last bit of our Mega Man 64 gameplay, and then kind of moving on to other stuff we've done from there since. Do also give the official Medarot page a follow as well at Medarotsha if you want to get news straight from the source. This is where I get all my stuff from the official channel on Twitter and on YouTube. So if you want to keep up with me before all the news gets put into English, definitely give them a follow as well. But with all that being said, once again, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always have, and your 2 years of continual support. That being said, until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.